Hi there, welcome to the Animal Intuitive Show. I'm Angelo, Webb, the Animal Intuitive, and tonight we're going to be talking about black bears in Florida as well as doing some live animal communication.
Come on, all you doggies, won't you walk with me? I'm the puppet dog.
So hello everybody who's here tonight. Thank you so much. The people who are here in chat, thank you for being here, and just letting everyone know, if you're in the chat and you want me to speak with your animals this evening, just post something there. I have a little bit of something to talk about as well tonight. As I put in the description, there was an incident in Florida that happened. I believe it was over the weekend or earlier in the week, so we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I want to hear what you all have to say too, just some opinions. But before we start with that, I do want to just mention that anything that I say in this episode is for entertainment and educational purposes only. It is just my opinion and thoughts. And if you do find any benefit from this show at all tonight, we really do appreciate here, as this channel is growing and the community is growing, that you share with other people who are like-minded, who might be interested in learning about ways to give animals a voice through animal communication and natural pet care, interviews we have with experts in the fields of animal care and advocacy. And so that being said, I'm just, if anyone's here and they want to just say hello, I'm looking in the chat. But in the meantime, so there was an incident that took place. I just kind of not sure the date of it. Actually, I can take a quick look here if it was over the weekend or when it was, but this was in Volusia County in Florida, and there was a woman who was out walking her dog. I believe it was a black lab. And hello, good night, Owl. Thank you so much for being here. Good to see you. So this woman was out walking her dog, and I believe it was in the evening, and this black bear just kind of came out and lunged at the woman. She tried to run, and this bear chased after her, and she ended up getting tossed to the ground. She did have like some marks on her face too. He jumped on her back. I'm not honestly sure if there was like a big mark on her face like this. I'm not going to show that part of the footage because I don't want to overdo it with playing in another channel their information because of copyright and all that. So I'm going to just play a really quick clip from that in a little bit. So I don't want to play that part of it, but I do have a link down there if you want to go back and watch it. Please don't leave the show right now to go do that, but maybe after you could. And I'm going to play a little tiny clip of that. But anyway, so this woman was harmed, but she was walking in this clip that I saw. There was the police showing up, and she just looked very stunned, traumatized. I'm sure it was just absolutely horrendous and frightening. Hi, Annette. Hi, A Voice for Hope. Welcome, everybody. So I'm sure it was horrible. I feel terrible for the woman and her dog, but I don't think the dog was actually attacked. At the end of it, they kind of said that the dog was unharmed. I think they found the dog later, thank God. So I'm working on my ums. I know I do too many. It's a terrible addiction. I wish there was like a shock thing that would come up. There's no way to set that up. When I do there's no way. So I don't know. It's a terrible condition. So I'm going to play you a clip in a few minutes, but I'm just kind of wondering what people's thoughts are on this, because this is a community of people who knew of these bears. There was the mother bear had been there for like 7 or 8 years, and then she had 3 cubs with her. So I guess that they were sort of like coexisting with these bears, as many of us wherever we live do. I'm in New Jersey, about I guess it's like without traffic, like 50 minutes outside of Manhattan, or like park to door. Like if you were to park your car and get to, so I don't know exactly technically to the edge of Manhattan, but it's suburbia. And we have a bear thing here. We have like a whole situation with bears. And in fact, I'm talking to someone about coming on and talking more about that. So hopefully that's going to come up soon. And I'm just curious if other people have bears in their area. I know some of you are, in other parts of the world, but so I'm just curious if people have bears in their area. And I don't know if anybody was feeding the bears. I don't know if that was a thing. That was not talked about. So I guess my thing is that what happened, and I didn't mention this yet, is that unfortunately they ended up darting the mother bear and euthanizing her. They didn't end up doing anything to the 3 cubs. And I guess the cubs were about a year old, or, they I don't think they know exactly, but they weren't like newborn cubs, but they were her cubs nonetheless. And, okay. Sorry, just heard a sound outside, kind of scary sound. Hopefully my husband's watching this and he can go listen, because I thought I heard like a screech or something outside. Okay. So a voice for hope. You live in the city, but maybe it's their ancestral hibernating grounds. Yeah. I got the impression that this is an area that's nature-ish, that there is, as here where I am, that we've built and built and built, and then we've come into their territory, and now they're there's things that happen when that happens. So I'm sorry, I heard like a weird screechy sound outside. I don't know, it was like half human half dog. I don't know. It was really strange. Hi Matt Willis, how are you? Good to see you here. Yes, definitely. And I think that was something that was talked about. I'm going to play this in this clip too. So I'm just wondering what you all think. If we're in their territory, originally their territory, and we're living here and there's bears and we're trying to just kind of deal with it, how is everyone feeling about the fact that they killed this mother bear with this incident? Incident. So he says it's all good. So hopefully we don't have like a murder outside. So I felt a little bit upset personally. I felt that this is just my opinion, but I felt that they could have darted the mother, which they did, and then removed her from that area if they had to, if this was like something they felt they needed to do for public safety, as it was put by it's the Fish and Wildlife. So yeah, not good, very sad. My thing is that, excuse me, if we do have to respect the fact that we're coexisting with animals. Yeah, not good. They should have put her asleep and moved her. Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like, why do we have to go to these extremes? I mean, do we have no respect or no concern for the lives of these sentient beings? I just really have, that was very upsetting to me to see that. So it reminds you, the ape they killed a while back. Caramba, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Why do we have to do this? It's almost like for show. It's almost like they do this just to say, oh, look, we did this big thing. We took care of it, everybody. Aren't we great? And it's like, well, you did the easy thing. Good for you. You're trying to put forward this impression that you're protecting the community by killing a bear with a gun, or actually, I'm sorry, they didn't kill it with a gun. They darted it, so that isn't what killed the bear. But then they euthanized her. So you had this advantage of being able to, go over there and just shoot from a distance this dart and then while she's out, euthanize her. Well, wow, that's great. That's really, I don't know. It just, that's, yeah, they seem too trigger happy. Well, that's the thing. I think they react so fast. This was in a short period of time that all this went down. This wasn't like, oh, let's think about what to do. Let's put it into some sort of holding area. I don't know what you would do, where you put it, but so I will tell you what. So again, I can't play this whole huge thing. It's from News Nation, to give them credit. They did a piece on this, and I thought that the reporter did a great job of breaking this down. And she had an expert on the show, and he gives his opinion on the situation, which I'm going to play for you. So first I'm going to play you my disclaimer. And then, well, not play it, but show it. Fair use. And we're just going to watch this little clip here. It's not too long. Make this a little bit bigger first. All right, it's not going to let me make it bigger. Okay.
That's right. So she's protecting her cubs when she gets startled. And if you come between a bear and its babies, there's going to be problems. So my opinion is that although they may have followed the law, it's somewhat unethical to have actually killed that bear. They should have relocated the entire family.
Okay. So that is an expert in bears, I guess. I don't actually recall his official title, but he's somebody who knows bears well. Unfortunately, I can't go back and play how she introduces him. I'm really trying to keep the time limit down so I don't get some kind of strike. But this guy is named Forrest. Perfectly named. But I don't know his last name now. I can't recall. Let me see if it says it here to give him credit. Forrest. Nope, I can't see it. But Forrest Galante is his name. He is a wildlife biologist. Okay. So I actually took some time today to do a little communication with. So in animal communication, just to back up a bit, when you want to connect in with something that happened in the past, you can, because everything is available. The things that happen, even though they're not happening right in front of you, you can tune into the energy of a situation, and you can tune into the energy of a being in whatever form they are in. So I tuned into the mother bear, and of course now I'm trying to look at my notes and I can't. There we go. This is what I got in my communication. I was scared. I was worried about my cubs. I asked her how she feels now that how she feels now. She said she's concerned not about herself in this situation, but about her cubs. I asked her what, just sort of to tune in where she is now. She shows me a beautiful, what looks like a flowing river stream with rocks, nature, very beautiful area, very sunny, glowing, sparkly, golden light is how I saw her. She has no issue with humans. She lived peacefully among humans. When I asked her what she thought of humans, that was her response. She says, though, that she wishes they cared about her cubs in this situation the way that she does. She wishes they could understand how she feels about her cubs. She says she does feel sorry and says about the woman. She just said that it was more like a mistake. She did not think about it. Ultimately, she was not actually trying to do the woman harm. She was just in the moment. The way I perceived it was like things going off the track. Like you're a little bit lost in the situation. She didn't know what was happening, and she said she was sort of off track. She wasn't sure of where she was. Like she was traveling to get somewhere else, and it was just confusion. I tell her that, that I'm sorry. One of the first things I got when I opened up this conversation was to pray for her, pray for the situation, and pray for healing for everybody involved, including the woman who was harmed. I get to the cubs are sticking together now, but sort of separately. Like they're still together, they're still kind of connected, but they are a little bit exploring on their own. And one of them, I see one of them, it's like a lighter color kind of going off in its own direction a little bit more than the other two, these sibling cubs. So that's the communication I had with her. And I sort of wanted to do it ahead of time because I felt a little bit like I was coming down with a little cold. I actually feel like I'm fighting it off pretty well. But I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't like too out of it tonight to do it. So I wanted to talk to her ahead of time. I also felt very upset about it. And so I just kind of wanted to do something ahead of time for that reason. So, oh, thank you. Good night. Oh, that's very nice of you. I agree with the bear expert. I just think that they could have done something else. I think a little more thought could have gone into this, a little more respect for the life of this being and the cubs as well, and just moved the whole little family somewhere, put them somewhere else if they had to do that. So as I mentioned, I am in communication too. I've actually wanted to have some bear protection agency on the show before, and this has come up because I reached out to them and they couldn't make it tonight, unfortunately, but they do want to come on the show. So that'll be coming up. 'Cause this is a huge issue actually here in New Jersey. I don't know about anyone else out there listening, but it's always like this huge thing in New Jersey about the bears. So it's an interesting thing that you could be so close to a city and live in an area that's like, it's suburban, but it's more of an urban suburban, if that makes any sense here, and still have these like wild bears coming through. And we even, sometimes we have coyotes, we do have fox too. So it's kind of a strange thing. People don't realize that you could be this close to Manhattan and have this stuff. So the cubs were spotted with her, I guess, but somehow they knew that there were cubs. So I don't know that the woman saw them that was attacked. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, they were in the vicinity. I know. And then you have to think about the trauma to those cubs to go through that. So a very sad situation. There's a lot that we need to be doing as far as just being better at protecting animals and seeing them as beings that we coexist with on this earth, instead of just that we're the domination here, that we get to make these decisions just based on what our needs are, our best interest, and try to have some kind of compromise, because I think there are ways to do that. That is my personal opinion. So if there's anyone out there that does want animal communication, that was sort of my very quick, I didn't have a lot to say about that, but I wanted to see if anybody had any thoughts on it, and just kind of have a little bit of discussion. So I don't know if there's anybody else who, I guess what I'm wondering is, do other people get upset about these things? These things kind of throw me, like I get emotional about it. I get upset when I see these things. I don't watch a ton of news, but these things come across, and if you're on YouTube, you see these things, and they come up in your stream or what have you, and you don't want to stick your head in the sand either. You know, you want to be aware of what's going on out there. If especially, you know, if you're an animal person, you want to know what's going on as far as animal protection. Trying to get some wolf people on here too, so we'll see about that. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear anything about what they're doing about the babies. It sounds like they're just leaving them. I don't know. That I did not hear anything else about anything happening to them. So, but that's a good point. Now, is something going to happen to them too? I don't, you know, who knows? So, hi Kim, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. And thank you everybody for being so nice. You guys are so great. I see sometimes people have trouble on their shows with trolls and, you know, just difficult people sometimes, and everyone here is just usually so nice and welcoming. So yeah, and also if anybody is here for animal communication, I am able to do that this evening. Some, you know, live animal communication with the chat, or anybody who wants to put their animal on video, we can send the link here. But that is actually, it's funny you bring that up, because that's my next, I'm trying to bring someone on to talk about the wolves, because that is like, yeah, that's just devastating. I don't understand why, you know, I get that there's agendas and political agendas, and that is just so upsetting about the wolves. That bothers me so much too. They had some nice bear picture too. I don't know what happened to it. You guys know I plan to bring things on here and then they don't. Sometimes they're not here. I had a nice black bear family. Maybe I can still get it up here. I know, I love the wolves. They're just, what are we doing? Like, that's part of, there's my bears. There they are. I mean, they're gorgeous. I love, how cute are they? Not to mention, you know, I'll put these guys up instead. Wolves are so awesome. We should be seeing them as something to respect and revere, you know, in our country. They're part of our, just, we're so lucky to have them, that they're going out and shooting them. It's so horrendous. Oh, Annette, you said you have an animal. Oh. So your grandson's dog was put to sleep last week. Yeah. Does your, you have permission, of course, from your daughter, I'm sure, or your son to talk with Rocky? And just let me know too, are you going to be putting them on? Do you want the link? Or do you just want me to talk to them, like you don't have a them with you? Anyone who's watching, who is watching the replay, if you ever want to come back and watch, if you get a hold of me ahead of time too, I can, and you don't want to put your animal on live, like with your phone on them, you can send me a picture ahead of time. As long as you know they wouldn't mind, that's okay. I mean, I think you're close enough family. That's fine. So the name is Rocky. Oh. Okay. And so the reason I'm saying all this for anyone who's not sure is I usually want to make sure that it's okay with the person who, the animal's person, if I'm speaking with someone else's pet, if that makes sense. So it's just like speaking to, you know, I don't know, someone's child or something. You have to get, you don't want to just be going up to them and connecting with them without the parent permission. It's the same way I see it with animals, but it sounds like this is pretty, you know, it's okay. So white bulldog, okay. And is there anything, you just want me to tune in and get what I get basically, or is there anything specific that you wanted me to ask? And just also, I put timestamps if you're watching the replay, so it's a little late for me to be saying that, because if you're this far, then you're, never mind. I should have said that in the beginning. I don't know what this is. This might be like a trolley thing. Ver.fy. It's like some kind of ad, I guess. I don't know. But nothing terrible. Oh, okay. Please see if he understands. The dog Rocky understands. Okay. What I can tell you though is just fast forward, like double click your screen to bypass me listening to an animal. That way you don't have to sit there and watch me if you're watching the replay. Okay. Is it okay for you to say your grandson's name? Annette? Just first name, not last name. If it's not, it's okay. Maybe initials or an initial, first letter. Okay. So I get, so for those of you who haven't watched me do this before, basically I'm going to give everything I get, whether it makes sense to me or not. And sometimes I have to just kind of spew words and things out first, and then it comes together. So just what I'm getting is that I see this dog kind of off in the distance. His head is down. I'm picking up a lot of grief, and I see your grandson holding him and how difficult this was. This was very painful to let go. There's definitely an understanding that it had to happen. He picks up his left paw and shows that to me. His head's still hanging down, but he's showing me his left paw. He licks your grandson. It's becoming now, he's saying it's more him wanting to comfort your grandson. Because the grief I'm feeling isn't coming from, it feels like most animals, when they go through this process of transitioning and prior to it, a lot of the grief, the grief is more us. They are not as caught up in grief. They don't feel it the same way that we do. And that could be for a few reasons. Sometimes it's, they are in pain or discomfort and they almost get to a point, there is a point where you feel that they're moving in and out of their body. That's a lot of times the feeling that I get. A lot of communicators will say that too, that you sense this, that they're not really in their body completely. They're kind of like going in and out or hovering around the physical body. So they're like disconnecting, and they're not thinking in the future. Animals don't really anticipate dying the way that humans do. If you think about all the information we get about death and dying our whole lives, and it's like this thing that becomes this fear, animals don't get that infusion of information. So to them, there's something happening, there's a change happening, and they're grateful for the kind of mercy that comes with leaving the physical body oftentimes. They're, in these situations where they're in a difficult, physical situation. So I'm probably going on too much about that, but people are like, yes, we know. The people who are watching here are like, yeah, we've heard this, Anne. But I'm saying all that because it's not to say that he didn't care or anything like that. It's not that. The focus for him is that your son was in pain going through this, and that he's trying to say, but I'm okay. That's the long way of me, like the long roundabout way of me putting that. Saying that he's out of that situation, he says, and that he's on the other side, so to speak. He's made that transition. So his concern through all of it was more your grandson. Did I say your son? Your grandson. Yeah, there's angels. Yeah, absolutely. Your grandson's dog. Do you mean like, is that why you think the paw was coming up? Maybe? Is that the connection? I'm not sure, because you're saying he waved at you. I'm going to see if there's anything else he has to add to that. Harmony is a word that's coming up. I'm not sure if that means something to your grandson or to you, but the word harmony is coming up. And I know that, like, generally speaking, okay, so he used to raise his paw and wave at you. Oh, so that was his signal that we're talking to him, and he's waving to you. Okay, so that's how I would take that. So I don't know if harmony means anything. I know that, like, generally speaking, oh, you're in heaven, harmony. And that's the word I give where they are. That's what I believe, that they're in heaven. But I don't feel it's just like a general use of the word. I feel like there's something to that. So I don't know, pass that on to your son, your grandson. Sorry, I keep saying that. Oh. Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah. Definitely. Thank you for sharing that. A voice for hope. Your daughter passed at 11 and has a mansion full of pets that she is watching over. I'm sure if she's an animal lover. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry, she's back. Giavanna, come here. We have this giant cat that we and this is the second week in a row she's decided at a certain moment that she's coming, and she's big, guys. I can't. She's like gonna knock everything over. Oh boy, could just come this way? If you could come this way, because that's my camera. So she's fun. She's just she's because she's so big, you just have to be careful, because she You know, like a dog isn't going to necessarily jump up on your desk in the middle of like a video, but she's like as big as a small dog, like sort of. So let me just, I just don't want her to knock anything over. You know, there's a lot of wires and stuff and lights and things. Okay. Yes. Oh, she heard my husband. Oh, Daddy's coming. Oh, what's the matter? Here you go. She's scared her. She yeah, she's a big kitty. She's okay. All right. Do you want to stay, or do you want to? Okay, she's gonna stay for a second at least. She's kind of still like a very reactive cat. Like she'll be like fine, and then all of a sudden it's like, I guess a lot of cats are like that. Isn't she pretty? She is. She's very pretty. We just got her in August. Giavanna. We told a story last week about thinking we had a normal sized cat, and then we opened the bag and out came this large kitty cat. That is very beautiful, though. It's a voice for hope. Thank you for sharing that. So I don't know. Is there anything else that you wanted me to get, Annette, from Rocky, or anything you wanted me to ask, or? She's actually a Norwegian forest cat, we think. Here she goes. There we go. She's off. Yeah, we did some comparison videos. Like we were watching like what's a Maine Coon look like, what's a Norwegian look like, and she mostly seems to have like Norwegian forest cat features. They're both big cats, and they have the water thing. They both like water a lot of times, and they're furry. Yeah, absolutely, Annette. Please do. It's in the description, my email, but it's Anne with an E at intuitivetouchanimalcare.com. Yeah, so we think she's at least part Norwegian forest. She was actually found in a bag or a box, we were told, in a cemetery. So, I don't think she's purebred. In Pennsylvania. So his comfort. So when I tune into him, I can tell you, I've never tuned into an animal that's crossed and I've gotten discomfort or dis-ease, or, they really transition into what to me, again, is heaven. I'm asking him, is there anything he wants to share about where he is? Okay, he laughs. He's saying, so a lot of times what I get is that I don't think I've ever not gotten this. Every animal that I speak to tells me, who's transitioned, that they have a purpose here on Earth, and a lot of times it lines up with what they're doing there, and that a lot of times there's some kind of connection. But the way that he's showing me himself, okay, I get sports, I see glasses, and I see instruction, like with a pen, and like the image, so I'm giving, so the information comes to me and I have to sort of put it into, like, my mind will sometimes have to translate it into what makes sense to put into like English for people to understand, but my brain will also have to sometimes make it understandable to me, or the information has to be made understandable to me, might be a better way to put it. And this is some kind of instruction. Like he's showing me with a pen and standing there wearing glasses, and I'm getting some kind of like football, or I mean, I want to say football. Like it's sports, and then I specifically got football. And like up on a chalkboard, I'm being shown those, I think they're plays. Like I'm not really a big football person, but like they're plays, I think, for the game. Like I'm being shown that kind of a thing. And so I feel like he's got purpose. He's occupied, and there's a contentment. There's a sense of like, this is what I do. So, I'm also like hearing the name Peter, so I'm not sure what that is, but take all that stuff and tell it to your grandson and see, what it means, or to your son, or, see, I'm not sure how old your grandson is, but whatever makes the most sense, and see, because sometimes things will not make sense. Even if I was talking directly to them, later on it'll make sense, it'll click. But if I'm talking to somebody who's not that person, you want to just give them all the information, because there's a reason that it was given to me, so I wouldn't want them not to have it. Or you can have them watch this too. That's an option. You're welcome. Yes, and I'll tell him that you love him. I just hear him going, we always had fun. Oh, okay. He's like a son to you. That's why I'm picking that up. Okay. Not saying son. Okay. Was there anybody else that had anything they wanted me to do? Anyone to talk to, or any comments or questions? The show is also fine if people ever have just questions about animal communication or anything. Like, it's very free-flowing here. I'm not huge on sticking to some like strict agenda. I'm happy to just talk, and sometimes if I have a guest on, we have to kind of stick to that, but I'm not seeing anything else. So oh yes, we did, and the kids do as well. I'm not sure what that meant, and the kids do as well. Yes, we did. I must have said something and you're responding to what I said, and now I don't remember what I said, because it says yes, we did, and the kids do as well. But he does know that you love him, and he just, maybe did I say having fun? Yeah, something like laughing, having fun. Yeah. Yes, you can go to, if you go to intuitivetouchanimalcare.com, that's my website. And thank you for saying that, because I always forget to say it. Right on the first page, excuse me, I'm sorry. On the first page, there's a contact form that you can fill out there. The kids miss him. Yeah, that's really tough. It's only been a week. Oh, that's so sad. I'm so sorry. It's not easy dealing with animals leaving this plane, for sure. Very difficult. So yeah, if nobody has any comments or questions, I guess we're kind of doing a shorter one tonight. But if anyone has anything afterward they want to put in the comments, I always like to hear your questions and comments for sure. And, feel free to let me know if you have anybody you want me to talk to for next week too, and you have a picture, or if you want, you can also put the camera on them on your phone, and that's fine. Or, if for some reason you can't do either, that's fine, like we did tonight. That's okay too. But I think people love seeing the pictures, so we always appreciate those. And if you want to share the photo, anybody of your pets, I can always share that too after the show if for some reason we didn't have anything. And so I can put it in a community post or something. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Well, it was a pleasure talking to everybody tonight, and please keep in touch, post your comments, and if you get a chance and you like this, like it, do the thumbs up or share it to social media or other people you know. That's just how it works on YouTube. That's the only way to grow the show, so pretty much. So thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate you guys stopping in. Thank you so much, and God bless.